What's going on, guys? Braces here. Quick update. I just got my new microphone. Unfortunately, this video was pre-recorded, so bad quality for you for another 10 minutes, but hopefully from next one it will be better. Cheers! What's going on, guys? Braces here. So today I will be talking about common threats in opponent lists and how to prepare against them. Every army obviously will do it differently, but I can give you some general advice on what to pay attention to when building your list. There are 5 subjects I would like to talk about. In your list building, you should make sure that at least 4 of them you have covered. You can probably get away with skipping one of those, especially in singles tournaments when you still need to count a bit on luck in pairings to do well. Just remember that if you are preparing for any kind of threat, you should always have more than one check for it. You should never just rely on one thing dealing with one particular threat, because the battlefield is huge and you will not always be able to get the most favorable matchups. So let's start with the thing that I personally hate the most, which is high armor side units. So the big cavalry blocks, or even the 5-man cavalry units, or just armored large cavalry like demigryphs or crusher cavalry. So those are usually pretty expensive units with 1 up save, 2 up save. Obviously, alchemy is excellent counter here, but not that many armies are actually available, are actually able to take alchemy. So you should try to find things in your army that have a armor piercing of at least 3. There are many things that are armor piercing 6 or 10, which is basically the same, and which are pretty mobile, like the Carnal Chariot, like Dread of Assassins, like Bolt Throwers. Those things work very well, not only in killing the armor, but also with zoning them and keeping them out of your way. Even if you don't have such things, remember that even armor piercing 2 or armor piercing 1 shots can be very devastating to cavalry, because with the huge amount of shots they get, they are bound to roll some 1s and 2s, and if they do, they are simply going to die. Those are usually not multi-wound models, unless you talk about the crushers or the demigryphs, but those are usually just 2 up armor save, so that's easier. Let's go to cowboys, which are very similar to the previous one, but obviously most of them now have the resistance to fire, so alchemy is not as good here. Also, they can hide behind the units much better. Also, they can hide inside the units for that matter. So bolt throwers can be ineffective against them, for example. What is the Cowboys' most worst matchup? The Cowboys are fearing the high combat resolution armies the most. So if you manage to catch the Cowboy with, for example, dire wolves with champion or with zombies, then he's most likely toast, because at some point he will get charged to the flank or charged even to the rear and just break from the combat resolution. So you should always try to pay attention to that and bring units that can deal with cowboys in that way. Monsters. Yeah, there is a picture of a very nice Gortak from Konrad's army. If you want to see this beast heads, I will recommend visiting any of our tourneys in Warsaw. This is one of the best armies I've ever seen, really. So the monsters. monsters are a thing that a bit keeps infantry in check in this game. So if you are going for the mono infantry list, or if you are playing dwarves, when you don't really have any checks for monsters in form of monstrous infantry, except for the golems, but they are not exactly the best answer. So you want to have something against monsters. So the obvious answer is war machines like cannons or bolt throwers, which deal a significant amount of damage to them. Also, most monsters are pretty weak on the armor side, so they have 4 up armor, 3 up armor in case of dragons, or no armor whatsoever in case of Gore-Tex. So any kind of shooting hurts them a lot, especially poison shooting, obviously. But this is just the same case as in case of cavalry. So if previously you were counting on cavalry rolling some 1s and 2s, and here you are similarly counting on rolling some 6s for 2 wound rolls. But as soon as you start chipping off on those monsters, then they tend to go down pretty soon. Obviously, impact hits are also very nice against them, but getting a charge against the monster is usually pretty hard, because they are very mobile, with being able to march backwards and such. So preferably just light shooting if possible could be the best way to deal with monsters. Massive shooting, yeah. So in this category I find bows, and surprise, crossbows. Yeah, obviously we are talking also about some repeater bolt throwers and bombardiers and such. Also magic that has a lot of magic missiles like pyromancy. There are armies that are naturally pretty weak to massive shooting, like Dread Elves. It is actually pretty hard to build a list that can deal with massive shooting. I cannot say that it's impossible, but you are sacrificing a lot in Dread Elves to be resilient to massive shooting. So maybe this is something you should count on not facing. Generally speaking, massive shooting things are light armored as well. So if you think about elves, both high elves and sylvan elves, and even dread elves with the raven cloaks, all of those are very susceptible to magic missiles. So also in your army, if you have things that are weak to massive shooting, like I don't know, Carnal Chariot in Demon Legions, or Siege Chariot, then you should also pay attention to have units in your army that can cover them from those shooting attacks. So things that are pretty resilient to shooting themselves, but have practically the same height, or at least large height, because many units that are shooting will completely ignore the standard lost blockers because of Volley Fire rule. So the last thing, Death Stars. Should you really prepare your list to face Death Stars? Short answer, no. Why? There are so many ways in this game to deal with Death Stars. You have to be afraid of them, but you have to know how to deal with them, and then it's pretty easy from that. First of all, place your mobile units in front of Death Stars, and I'm not talking about the units that can charge far, but about the units that can march far in every direction. So, for example, monsters or light cavalry, because you will get one of two mileages out. Either Death Star will position itself so that the fast unit cannot get out of its line of sight, or the Death Star moves forward a bit more, and then you can get into a very good position at its flank, and then it will have to worry about you in the next turns. Then again, as long as you buy yourself some time, as you zone the Death Star enough, then you will not need as much chaff as you have, and you will be able to use your chaff more effectively on other things. So chaffing Death Stars is not really something that I would recommend, because I personally think it's a waste. I would much rather just position my counters in a better way. Obviously, sometimes it's completely necessary and there is no way to avoid it. But if you can avoid it, then you probably should not chaff Death Stars. Okay, so that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in another episode.